fellowship, devoted to it. They're devoted to it. That means they keep coming back to this. You know, the idea of fellowship is so interesting because the idea of fellowship in modern day life is cookies and red punch in a room called the fellowship. There you go. We got it down. We even built a room for it. What more could you ask? Right? What you could ask is to have a biblical apostles' teaching idea of this. And that is, it's a partnership. It's a sharing together, a participating, a pulling together, if you would. A pulling together. You know, one time when we had a fellowship at the park in October, remember that? We call it the Harvest Celebration. One of those times we had some interactive things to do that were enjoyable. One was a tug of war. You remember that? That's what our side looked like, wasn't it? We're pretty well dug in going to it. But the point here is this. This idea of fellowship is we're all pulling together on a same task. We have a common goal and we're all pulling together on this task to be accomplished. That is an excellent illustration of fellowship, except for one thing, and I'll point out that in a moment. By the way, what we looked like was more like this. Some of us were kind of distracted over here. Some of us were really into it, but some of us were kind of, well, this, I don't know what I'm doing. I think this is a show, isn't it? That's kind of what we look like in ours. Nevertheless, it is a good illustration because together we're all pulling. We're pulling in God's direction. We're pulling that the knowledge of God is in us personally. That we go with this knowledge of God to distribute it. That we show this in our person, that our lives are changed and being changed by this. That's one of the neat things in D-Band, that we get this kind of interaction, what's going on, and hear about changes that are going on and challenges and bearing up with one another and encouraging and spurring on and sharpening one another and correcting one another. Is that going on in your D-Band? Should. That's what these are about, these disciple bands. We're pulling together in this. Now, I want to add this. Oops. Went too fast. The activity is not the fellowship. It's the living a common relationship with each other. That's the fellowship. Fellowship is not an activity you do. It's living in a relationship with others where in common we all have this life. We all have the life of pulling on this rope, and we're all pulling it together. Pulling what? Pulling the knowledge of God into our lives. Pulling this practice of the knowledge of God in our lives. What you've seen and heard in me do. And then showing this. Getting to know it, going with it, showing it. We're all pulling together on this. As a matter of fact, if you're not, it's hard to have fellowship with somebody. I don't feel a part. Important point. To feel a part, you have to take a part. If you don't take a part, you won't feel a part because you're not a part. As a matter of fact, you have come apart from it. Okay? So in order to feel a part, you have to take a part, otherwise you're not a part and you will come apart. That makes sense, doesn't it? And that is the function of fellowship. It's not an activity. It's we're living in this common together, and we're pulling on this together. Now, I told you that we're doing this on the church for the purpose of the next step in the Heartland strategy. And this is the genetic code of the strategy, because it's not mine, it's the church's from day one. From day one. A common life together that we're sharing as we're pulling on this rope in the same direction. And yeah, we'll look like we're scattered and all around, but it'll come. It'll come. And it's amazing to see what comes. At least as God points it out to us.